welcome to the Wandcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Harry Potter series with a comparative craft brew on the side. Now, normally this is a chapter-by-chapter reread of the Harry Potter series, but not today. But like normal, I'm Aaron, and I am here with my two favorite Hufflepuffs, Jade and Nate. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. On this episode, we are going to constructively critique the movie.
I'm sorry, you know we're sitting in the room with Jade, right?
Yeah, constructively critique.
She is about to tear this fucker
Movie.
down.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Jade, do you want to just take the floor, or shall we try to go through the movie?
We can go through it. Like, we can just, from the beginning, whatever.
Yeah, we want to highlight we're going to compare. So we're going to talk about differences. We're going to talk about things we liked and didn't like. So let's kind of just start with the opening. We go, Harry is practicing magic. He's practicing Lumos Maxima, a spell that we're all familiar with because it's said in the book a ton at this point. Lumos Maxima.
But he wasn't saying that.
No, he was saying that in the movie.
Right.
Listen.
Yeah, only in the movie. Already. Fucking 5 seconds into the movie.
This is why I understand where you're coming from, Nate, with me being like, hey, Jade, you need to relax. Because I'm intense. And I understand. Like, into a microphone, I might be intense. So I apologize. And to all of you who might be listening and cringing a little bit, because I can see my husband's face during all of this. But I also want to say, this movie starts out, like, first of all, we get no exposition, which a lot of movies have.
None.
Right? We start out with Wizard Harry Potter doing spells in his bedroom, which, first of all, we've established from earlier books.
Not allowed to do.
Not allowed to do.
Yeah.
And then later in this fucking movie and in the fucking book, it's established he shouldn't be fucking doing.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Yes, I get a little bit loud right away because this is absolutely, I don't know who chose to do this bullshit. In the book, I believe he is writing stories about fucking wizard history or some maybe we get his birthday.
He's supposed to be writing about
birthday?
witch burning.
Right.
And why
then
it was
his birthday.
pointless. Yeah.
So, like, the fact that they chose to have him just practicing a fucking spell with his wand in his bed, absolutely ridiculous. We are skipping. It's not his birthday. We don't get his birthday gifts. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All of this is fine. All of this is fine.
Yeah, no birthday. We immediately go to Aunt Marge's visit. She is exploded what appears to be on night one of her visit. And Harry takes off, goes to the Leaky Cauldron. And even still, there's not really a birthday scene at all. There's no mention of his birthday, even in the Leaky Cauldron.
Oh, yeah.
And, to a much lesser extent, there's no, like, hey, Ron did get a new wand. That's just glossed over in the movie.
Yeah, don't touch that at all.
Yeah, the movie folks have no idea that Ron has a fixed wand.
He didn't write to anybody.
Nope, no letters, no nothing.
Well, and also, I mean, it's right here in the opening of the movie, pretty much, that we get to Marge almost immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And there were some different things there. She didn't she was antagonistic, but she didn't nearly antagonize him as much as in the books.
Well, because she was only there for a night in the movie. It wasn't a 2 week, or it wasn't a 1 week full visit.
Also, he leaves, right?
Yep.
Takes his shit. Almost stabs Vernon with his wand. He's fine.
Wand in the face.
Before he even leaves, just real quick, Marge never leaves the house in the book.
Right.
In the movie,
she
gets out of the house and fucking flies away.
Hey, if we're being honest, I kind of like it.
How many muggles, though?
Right?
How many muggles do we have to fucking mind erase to take care of that bullshit, though?
Literally,
but also,
all of England.
All of them. Yeah, she was screaming.
The directorial choice, not only to have him making spells in his bedroom and then talking to Fudge about doing magic on his aunt, absolutely asinine.
Yeah.
But also, the directorial choice to have the giant ass dog, which isn't that giant and kind of looks like a wolf dog in and of itself instead of just a giant dog.
When Sirius
right?
appears, yeah.
When Sirius appears,
Yes.
in my brain, it should be a giant black dog that looks similar to my dog, right?
Yeah. Oh, like Irish Wolfhound, I would even argue.
Maybe,
like,
whatever. A big-headed, big, wonderful, big dog.
It was a very
who is
scraggly dog.
Who is not aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
He is just looking at Harry because he wants to see Harry, which he explicitly says at the end of the fucking book. He came to go get a glance of Harry before he headed north, which is a 7-day journey on foot. I looked it up. From London to Scotland. This motherfucker wandered down there to just get a look at him. He was not snarling at Harry. The directorial choice to have this weird wolf-looking ass dog snarling at Harry Potter before he falls down is bullshit.
Well, it snarled at him right away in the movie,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
When
That's
he
what
is
I'm
catching
saying.
the night bus.
Bullshit.
And now we know, right?
Yeah.
Dog is serious. Sirius wouldn't have been angry at Harry.
Absolutely
He
not.
would have definitely cut an imposing figure, especially in the
would've been
darkish
creepy.
background.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
It would have been terrifying. It's like, okay, when you're about to get into a fight and the dude that you're about to fight is standing stock still and he is punctuated by all of his friends behind him going, oh shit, fuck him up. You know what I mean? So the dog just being there still would be terrifying to me.
Yeah, 100%.
A big black dog in the dark when you're not expecting it. That's what I'm saying.
That's why they just should have used like the lightning to punctuate that. You see the wind and the fur moving and it's just intense glare. And that's all you need because
That's all
he's a
I'm saying.
big dog. But
Nate,
that's it.
Listen, we didn't mention this on the feed that we're talking about right now, right? Our dog, Loki,
Yeah.
he's not here anymore.
Yeah.
That happened. If you follow us on Facebook, you've seen this.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is the sweetest, best dog in the world, right?
Yeah.
He scared people when they came to our front door. So if you saw
Yeah, he
Loki,
did.
Yeah. Big, dark, deep bark, too.
for a pit bull,
Yeah.
he was a very tall, large
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
So if you
he's
saw
a bit
him,
of a mix.
Yeah.
if you saw him just sitting in the darkness
Oh, yeah.
in an alleyway, you might
Yeah.
be a little creeped out that he's looking at you with
Yeah.
intense eyeballs. He doesn't need to snarl. He doesn't
Yeah.
need to growl at you. He
Well,
looks
that-
scary. That's what they should have fucking done.
That, or like, I could even see like Doberman, where it's like straight pointy fucking ears up, and it's like this, like a tall, like I've seen like people put pictures of like Dobermans in dark rooms where you just barely see their outline.
They
It's
look
like,
so
yeah, that's a
badass.
Satan dog. That dog came from hell. Yeah. Because to me, the whole point of doing movies with time travel, especially, is that you go back and watch the movie again. So if you go back and watch this movie again, the movie starts, you see the dog come out, and you're like, oh, Sirius Black. That's his godfather. And then it growls at his godson. That makes no sense at all. As soon as, because like, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
I mean, speaking of time travel, if
Yeah.
we're going to get into that just a little bit.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
The fucking Hermione throwing a rock at Harry does not happen in the book.
No, yeah, none of that happens.
I thought that was a hilarious spot in the movie, but also directly fucking breaks the rule about how time travel is supposed to be handled in the book.
Oh?
Yeah, you're not supposed to interact with yourself.
No, you're not supposed to be seen.
No, you're not supposed to interact. I mean, the scene, true, but the thing is, you're not supposed to affect yourself. Hermione, okay, well, if we're going to get specific, Hermione was told, and
Yeah.
we believe strictly stuck to the fact that it is only to be used for school purposes.
Yeah.
Now, Dumbledore is like 3 turns ought to do it and sets him off on the whole final loop, but also the hucking of the rock was not okay. Just like Harry doing the Patronus. I mean, I'm not saying that they couldn't have done these things. They obviously just broke the rule.
Yeah.
But Hermione
Yeah.
tossing the rock in the movie never happened in the book.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was just saying that they were never told not to do stuff like that. The main point was that you can't be seen. I think it's if you can interact, Like you said, with the Patronus,
Without
with
being
Harry,
seen.
you just can't be seen.
Okay.
You know, like, because I honestly, it's one of the things I like. I like that they added more time travel shenanigans, because otherwise, the time travel part, because this works in a book. In the book, they mostly sit around.
That's true.
That's a boring ass part of the movie.
where they're just hanging out.
But
like,
at least
we
at
got
this point,
2.5 hours before things kick off.
at least at this point, they're a little bit more active.
Probably could have just done
You
with
know?
one turn.
Now, I would say just the Hagrid's hut, just the stone throwing there. I don't really.
That's what I'm talking
I don't
about.
like
Yeah.
the howling to save themselves, like, because that just adds more unnecessariness. We don't need to have that whole thing. So, like, that's, you know, what I did care for that.
There is so much weirdness too with the invisibility cloak.
Yeah.
The storyline in the movie versus the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we only see the one Hogsmeade's visit, and Harry has his cloak on with him the whole time.
It almost feels like if you hadn't read the book and you watch this movie, you might be confused.
Oh, 100%.
I kind of think so.
100%.
Now, I only know this after having read the book, so I'll never really be able to know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I feel like if you're somebody unlike me who does pay attention to all of those details when you watch a movie and remembers them, because again, terrible memory, then things like this are going to stick out to you and be like, wait, where the fuck did, like, you've got no premise. There's no McG talking to Hermione being like, okay, we're going to get your schedule.
Right.
You know what we talked about. Wink, wink. And that's your leader for the entire first half of the movie where Ron is freaking out like, where the fuck did she come from?
Yeah.
Did you see her come in? We don't have any context for what the fuck he's talking about. She just keeps popping up weird. But also, it's a movie.
Well,
She
I
could
was
just be
gonna say-
off of the shot just a little bit.
They just need you to know that something weird is going on with Hermione. Like that's like you have to have some sort of hint that there's a setup being made. Like that's the purpose. But I
He does
agree
ask
with you
her about the schedule a time or two in the movie.
I think just once, but it's like I don't think that's good. That's not that good. Have a conversation. Have the better conversation where it's them talking about her timetables or
Listen.
her schedule.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about here on this episode here with all of our listeners that Ron is so fucking all the movies he's shortchanged.
Yes.
A
lot of Ron's lines were given to Hermione in this.
Not just this one though.
Oh, right, yeah.
The prior movies, the future movies. Ron is downgraded to a comical side piece who doesn't notice anything, and it's just so sad.
The point
Yeah.
of Ron to me in the books is that he's the loyal best friend and also kind of the moral high ground. Yeah, he's going to be angry and say the thing that, no, we don't want you to say right now. But it's the fucking thing that should be said, and Ron's going to be the motherfucker to say it. They take away that. They take away Ron's Gryffindor side for the movie.
Yeah.
He's just a comical fucking side character.
He's
and
the best friend. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Sidekick.
especially it's ride or die, because it's the thing when it matters. Ron is there and he's serious. When Snape yells at Hermione, when Snape is taken over for Professor Lupin, in the books, Ron has Hermione's back. Snape says, "Do you ever shut your mouth?" And Ron goes, "You asked her a question.
Yeah.
She gave you an answer. That's your fault."
He talks back to the teacher because that's
Yeah.
what Ron would fucking do.
In the movie, he goes, "She kind of deserved it." No, bitch ass. That's not ride or die Ron.
Well,
Yeah.
they sped
And
up
then-
the timeline of him not liking her because of the Crookshank Scabbers situation,
Yeah.
which again they really
That-
didn't get that deep into
I was gonna say,
either.
that whole thing just got swept under
so it
the
just
rug.
seems offhanded that he would suddenly be against his best friend so hard.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, what the fuck is happening?
And the one at the end where Ron stands up with his broken leg, quote unquote, metaphorically, he stands up. To Sirius, but
Yeah.
he says, if you want to kill Harry, you have to go through us. They give that to Hermione on this one. It's like, no, Ron is physically vulnerable and still stands up to Sirius. That's the important part.
Yeah.
Listen,
Would you like to talk about Crookshanks and Scabbers?
I would like to talk about the fact that Ron and Hermione have a whole subplot. There's a whole subplot where they do not talk for a long period of this book.
Yeah?
There's a whole but in the movie, right?
Yeah.
They fight for maybe 10 minutes. and then they're like lovey-dovey.
A quick courtyard walk.
Which doesn't even happen. Like, in the books, they are not even trying to couple up for like 2 more fucking books.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's the one moment where Ron is like, Hermione, you are yelling at professors. Like towards the end, after she yells at Trelawney,
He
slaps
pays attention
Draco.
to her, okay? I'm not saying he doesn't.
That's
but
it. It's just the one time.
He's paying attention to her the whole time.
Yeah.
Next book, he pays attention to her a couple more times, but there's no romantic feelings between the two of them for like 2 more fucking books.
Yeah.
But the movie is putting this in there, even though the 2 of them literally did not speak
Yeah.
for months during this actual fucking book.
Well, it's like we kind of said it in the movie. Did kind of like that they added a little bit more things with Ron and her, that they kind of hinted at a little bit more.
But my point is that is how wildly different. But also, her and Harry had like
they had some hand holding and
Well, they had to. There was no Cho Chang for Harry to be staring at.
Yeah, speaking of relationships, in
She's
the book,
not even in this fucking movie.
Cho gets introduced in the books. Well, I mean, in the movies, they cut out Quidditch completely, except for the first match when Harry falls off.
In
of
love
his
with
broom.
Cho's just bottom half because he's chasing her. Yes, you said it.
Well, no, actually, he had the firebolt at the time, so he was in front of her because the firebolt's faster. Ask Lee Jordan.
Oh, firebolt! Oh!
We said another buzzword.
Because the firebolt happens during the book, right? And
No,
not
it-
the actual ass end of the fucking movie?
Yeah, no, it just happens at the end of the movie.
I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I think what's actually happening here, what you're hearing in live time, is that we are arguing for what I hope is the HBO series that is coming
Oh,
that we have not seen yet. Because the actual reality of how many bullshit things are wrong in this fucking movie is just asinine. The picture that you have up on the screen right now, Nate, with Hermione holding a hippogriff's fucking feather with the firebolt on the table, which happens at the end of the fucking book with the entire
Happens
Gryffindor.
at the end of the movie.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
yeah.
With the Gryffindor whole ass class around him.
Oh, yeah.
And
Everyone's
like,
there. They're in the Great
nobody's
Hall.
questioning what that feather is, and then he goes outside and flies it. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And not what happens in the book at all. And I get that's not the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But-
the whole thing with like the fat lady being
upset.
slashed, it happens too early, and then there's like, oh, he's in the castle. I feel like there could have been lead up right after the broom gets destroyed. Harry literally wakes up in the hospital. You could even, to save time, you could have even had the firebolt delivered to Harry in the hospital. It happened that fast. Why? Sirius was at the game. He saw that happened. He knew that it happened. He replaced the broom and then fucking took off.
But Sirius wasn't, right? It was just him seeing it in the clouds, right?
Yeah. In the movie, he sees him in the clouds.
movie, it's just like a representation of the Grim. It wasn't actually the dog.
Yeah.
But I liked that better because, I mean, I've worked security at events, not sports events, but like private events. You know what we're not just going to randomly let in? A dog.
Also, everyone would want to pet that dog.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's why security doesn't let the dogs in. It's because no one would watch the game.
That's why
wanna
they
pet the
had
dog.
to make it a cloud, because if
Yeah.
it wasn't, they'd be Harry would go, "Oh my gosh, it's the Grim," and then cut to everybody just be like, "Oh, such a good boy." You know what I mean?
Hey, this might be a surprise to everyone right now, but we actually do have more thoughts and feelings. But we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. Hey, Nate, what are we drinking today?
Today, we are drinking Zombie Dust. This insanely hopped and gushing undead pale ale will be one's only respite after the zombie apocalypse. Created with our marvelous friends in the comic industry.
Oh, there's a very comic book-y art to the can. That's a very comic book-y zombie king? Is
Yeah,
a
it looks
crown?
like it. Yeah. Skeleton dude wearing a crown.
Yeah, so what, we're coming in at 6.5%. And
That's
it's
right.
an undead pale ale.
62 IBU.
Yeah, we were discussing if that's a real thing or if that's just a fun play on words.
Wow.
Is that a subcategory?
But what is that supposed to mean?
I was going to say 60U is International Bitterness Units. And since it's... I was trying to get it to you before you took a swallow, Jade. That means it's going to be a pretty bitter beer, and you're probably not going to like it.
Remember that thing that I said the last beer on the last beer break?
The taste the last one didn't have?
Yeah, I don't know if these are going to go in
This
order.
one has it.
But the otter one that we tried,
Yeah.
it was nice and smooth on the end. This one has that thing. It makes my face do the thing.
You made a face like someone had poured pure salt into your mouth. It's like, it's so bad.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I kind of feel like you probably... Okay, you are going in for a second sip. I was going to say, I feel like maybe you don't need a second sip to rate this one. Are you ready for a rating?
Here's the thing. When you're drinking it initially,
Yeah.
it doesn't taste bad while it's in your mouth. This is why I have the problem with some of these. Because they're in your mouth, you're like, this is fine. I could drink this all day. And then you swallow it, and your mouth is like, ew. It's a lot. It's
Innuendo
it's a
not
roller-
intended, right?
Roller coaster, never. I would never intend an innuendo. But it's a roller coaster of emotions. And I will just say, because of that,
How many roller coaster carts?
we're gonna go probably like a 3.
Like a 3.
Yeah,
Okay, I kind of expected that.
That's right about where my expectation for your score was going to be.
What would you
Yeah.
give this, Aaron?
I like IPAs.
That sounds like a 4.
Yeah. This is pretty good. But it's basic IPA. I don't know what is this doesn't.
It's not
It's
making
important.
you gush.
It's not a gushing IPA. It's not doing anything to stand apart from other IPAs I've had. So look, you hand it to me, I'm gonna drink it, I'm gonna be happy. I don't know if I'm gonna remember, like, I'm gonna see this in the store and go, what did that taste? Just an IPA. I'll
Yeah.
probably find something better.
Yeah, kind of average.
7.
You're going 7.
Yeah.
I'm going lower than you again. I'm going to give this one a 5 because
357.
when I think of IPA, see, here's the thing. When I think of IPA, this is
Yeah.
what I think of.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really stick out. I don't think it tastes bad, but also I'm not inclined to be like, oh shit, that's good either. So I don't see it coming any higher than a 5.
Yeah. For me, it's like if you give me just a lager, that's probably a 5. But because I like IPAs more, that's where I give it those couple extra points.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So on average, a 5 between the 3 scores. So I'm changing my score to 8, so it's a 6. Let's get back to the book. We are back. And yeah, like I promised. And I don't ever go back on my promises. We have more thoughts and feelings.
He's a liar.
That's not true. I've never lied.
I think Jade's
Once in my
only
life.
having the one feeling right now, and it's pretty akin to anger.
I've never lied once in my life, and I'm definitely not choking on a piece of popcorn right now.
no.
I've had a lot of feelings.
We talked about this because we were just talking about the firebolt, but I want to talk about Quidditch. Bigger picture. Oliver goddamn Wood did not get to win the Quidditch Cup in his senior year in
No.
this fucking movie.
Did Oliver Wood even appear in this movie?
No.
I don't think he did now that I'm thinking back. I thought maybe he was there at the
Scottish
beginning.
boy, where are you?
Right here.
Hey, baby.
You can call me Oliver. Yeah, there's no happy moments. There's no crying McGonagall. There's no crying Wood. There's nothing. And I am upset about that.
Looks like he did not appear in this movie due to time constraints.
Well,
They should
yeah,
have moved
yeah.
the whole movie for him.
Sean Biggerstaff? Oh my God. That actor has the coolest name I have ever fucking
He has
seen.
the biggest staff, let me
Sean
tell you.
Biggerstaff. It's a big staff there. Mine's
tell ya.
bigger. He's said that joke way too many times, though. Let's be real. Everybody's heard that out of his mouth at least 6 times.
I think it's been in a lot of people's mouths, yeah.
You know what? I deserve that. I walked right into that.
Well, so have a lot of people.
But yeah, they don't get to, you don't see the celebration. You don't
Listen.
see
No.
the end where they get to win the house cup or any of
Yeah,
that. shit.
nothing about that.
No. All right, real quick. I'm going to go back. Time travel.
we're- hey,
gonna
about
we're
3
gonna turn
turns?
about 3 turns
Okay.
back. To
Well
2
done.
things. First of all, the bus night bus.
The night bus.
In the book, things are supposed to move for the bus.
Yeah.
I thought that was very cool when I was reading it. And then when you're watching it, the bus actually shrinks for the things around it, which may be cool if you've never read the book. But for me, I hated it.
Well, and I would argue that's probably the more realistic way that the night bus would work, but that's not what was established in the book.
I understand.
So I don't want it.
I understand.
Show me the whole fucking barn and
Listen.
farmhouse that moves out of the bus's way.
That's what I'm saying. I understand, Aaron. It
Yeah.
sounds more realistic.
Yeah,
to
but
you,
it sucks.
But I think that it sounds cooler that the magical world
Yes.
can wind its way
100%.
through the Muggle world so much so that we don't even notice it because we don't pay enough attention.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
I
it's
think-
Ernie says that.
Yeah.
How do they not notice the bus? And Ernie's
Is
like,
that
they don't listen.
They don't pay
look for
attention
it.
that they're
Yeah.
moving. They
Yeah.
don't realize that they're moving out of the way. And that is like such a weird concept that isn't brought into the movies. And I think that is
Yeah. Damn muggles with their heads in their phones all the time.
fucking wild. And then there was another point, and I'm trying to remember what it was before what we were talking about.
Harry never lies about who he is on the night bus.
Yeah.
He is Harry Potter. Well, they never really bring up that he's Harry Potter.
They don't ask him. He doesn't tell.
Yeah, he
It
never
just,
has to pretend to be Neville.
They end up at the Leaky Cauldron.
Yeah.
And Tom is just like, oh,
Tom?
Harry.
Tom, the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That is Tom the innkeeper, apparently.
Hunchback of Leaky Cauldron. No, it's just I need some time.
That was pretty
I need
good.
some
That
time.
was pretty
That
good.
was pretty good.
That was pretty fucking good.
The Leaky
Nate.
Cauldron.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a 7 out of 10 first run, my guy.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, the other thing, Hagrid not sending over because we skipped past Harry's birthday, the book.
Yeah.
But then when they first get to their first Care of Magical Creatures,
Yeah.
there's only one hippogriff.
Yep. Yeah,
It is
not a whole paddock
Buckbeak.
full. Yep.
Yes. That makes a wild difference. And the fact that Hagrid, first of all, is talking so intensely to Harry that he doesn't
Yes.
pay attention. And then that Hermione has to tell him to take
Yeah.
if there was only one fucking hippogriff in the class, it does lead to Hagrid being unresponsible, irresponsible.
They
with his,
they neutered Hagrid like they neutered Ron.
I hate this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he shouldn't have had all the hippogriffs there, but if there's only
Right.
one, him talking to Harry, he shouldn't have. Oh, I'm just. Guys,
he
take
shouldn't
it. Take it from me.
He shouldn't have what?
He shouldn't have been talking to Harry as intensely as he was because Malfoy was he should have been smacking Malfoy back because he was paying attention to the one hippogriff
Yeah.
instead of the 12 that were in the paddock.
Yeah, in the
Right?
books,
That's true.
Hagrid can be distracted because there's a whole paddock full of hippogriffs. Not in the movie, there's only one, so it makes Hagrid look like more of a dummy because
And then-
Hermione has to run up and be like, "Hagrid, he's got to go to the hospital." Like, no, in the books, Hagrid do that.
Hagrid took
Yeah.
shit under control.
They
He was
dumbed
like,
him
class
down.
over,
Exactly.
we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about the Quidditch, and we talked about this scene where we also get, like, this is where, like, I kind of get where you have to cut things for time. But the Malfoy prank of dressing up like Dementors happens in the Quidditch, or in the Care of Magical Creatures class.
Yeah.
That's how they converted that in the books, or in the movie. And it's like, now I can follow thought processes. Because we're taking a scene that was in the book, and we're taking another scene in the book. We're just putting them together in the movie. That is along the right track on how you convert books to movies. I do think that this still could have been better. Because again, the way this is in the movie, this is directly in front of Hagrid. All of this happens right in front of Hagrid.
Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't have happened. I feel like the book mentions Malfoy being smart enough to maybe being a little antagonistic in front of a teacher, but he's not going to out and out, like, call him out and threaten him. You know what I mean? The other thing is that if they're going to do this, I know this is a very quick, cheap way for movie production to get this point across.
Yeah.
However, if they're going to pull up the hoods to do the thing,
Make sure they're Yeah.
I would have made it like make a little felt mask, man. Cover your face to
Go
really
all the
be
way
like,
over.
hey,
Yeah.
we are not just pulling hoods up and be like, "Gah," because this makes them look dumb.
A little bit.
If my bully did this to me in high school,
Yeah.
this is me laughing at my bully, being like, you are acting more of a fool
Yeah.
by trying to make me feel bad
Yeah.
than I did when the fucking Dementor showed up.
Yeah.
However, if you put a little effort into your costume and actually make it something that might be a little frightening, even if you're not planning on it, right? Walks up behind you, taps your shoulder, boom, big old mask looking face. That's going to be scary. That might really cause a reaction. This is not scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just, well,
that's-
all your friends are there too, and Hagrid. So what you're going to do? You're going to go, what the fuck ever, Malfoy.
This is full on bullying. Like, I almost appreciate the book version of it more now because it's like, yeah, at least they put in effort. Like, they were on top of each other's shoulders, making themselves look tall. Like, they put in a lot of effort to like fuck with me in the books. You know, if I'm Harry, like in this, yeah, this is just dumb. Another kind of, I would argue this is probably a very important change. This is where, like, I get creative differences and I get that. We never get confirmation that Peter Pettigrew is the servant of Lord Voldemort
Oh, yeah.
in the movie.
I would say related to this, I don't know the whole scene
Mm-hmm.
where Harry is looking at his map in the middle of the night and he sees Pettigrew on the map.
Yeah.
And he goes to Lupin. He goes out into the fucking hallway. He sees Severus. He goes to Lupin. The whole fucking scene is manufactured.
Yep.
Because we had to skip through 2 scenes. Like, we only had 1 Hogsmeade scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we couldn't have Snape confronting Harry after the second Hogsmeade trip.
Yeah.
And him seeing him in Malfoy seeing Harry in Hogsmeade.
Yep.
And we also had to rectify something else. My brain is eluding me because I've been drinking a little bit. But my point is that Harry seeing Pettigrew on the map never fucking happens. But we had to have that happen in the movie for some fucking reason. And then it doesn't ever get made up.
Well, like you said, so because Harry can't get caught by Snape coming back from the Hogsmeade trip because that got changed in the movie, Harry he's just looking at the map at night, and then he sees Peter Pettigrew walking the halls. And this is after, again, the much changed scene of him overhearing the conversation about Sirius Black in the Three Broomsticks.
And I also feel like that mention of Pettigrew was or Pettigrew was so fast. Pettigrew, yeah. Peter Grew. That's what it's anyways.
When he goes from rat to man.
The mention of Pettigrew, though, I did it again, god damn it. Goes by so quick. I don't feel like in the movie Harry would have really picked up on who that was, what the implications were, or what the connections were for that random name that he overheard.
Yeah.
In the book, at least he has the connection that was a dude that hung out with his dad and Lupin. So when he hears it, or in the book, had he seen it on the map, that would have been much more significant for him to be like, I know who the fuck that is. And that guy doesn't belong. Just not... It's almost like he just saw a stranger's name and went to go investigate. Like he shows up in the fucking Ravenclaw girls' dorm and be like, "Are you Brittany? Oh, okay. You're supposed to be here.
Oh, Peter Pettigrew, you're a Hufflepuff? I'm so sorry.
Just random. Yeah.
It was, that's,
You,
I
Billy.
guess
What the
it's
fuck's your last
it's
name?
So many layers of fucking weird, I guess, that it's just wild.
Well, and then, and then Harry tells Lupin, because we still get the thing of, instead of Snape calling Lupin, Lupin just happens upon Snape and Harry in the hallway at night. And then that's where Lupin defends Harry. They go back to Lupin's office, and then Harry says to Lupin that he saw Peter Pettigrew on the map. So Lupin is hinted much earlier. You know, it's not just the night of.
The whole storyline.
Nerfs
it
the
should.
whole reason why Lupin is even there in the first place.
And why he's watching the map so closely.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not Dumbledore is aware of what's supposed to happen, technically, the reason that he's there is to serve as the discoverer of this whole issue, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and so in the movie, they totally take that away from him.
Maybe because we never get told a specific reason of why Dumbledore, if it was to protect Harry, if it was because of his connection to Black, if it was because Dumbledore suspected Lupin might have been the person in the first place, that we don't know. We never get told. And also, speaking of Lupin and how important he is to the story, there is no confirmation whatsoever in the movie that Lupin is Moony, and that Sirius is Padfoot, and that James was Prongs, and that Peter Pettigrew was who's the Orbtail. We liked how frantic the scene was, because that felt more realistic. It happened much quicker, but yeah, they never talk about who they are. They never really talk about them as animagus.
I kind of thought in that final scene when Lupin was leaving, Harry's going to be like, wait, who the fuck was Moony? And he'd be like, dumbass, it was me. But that never happens.
Well, Harry sees the Patronus as a stag, but then is never told that the reason his Patronus is a stag is because that's what his dad turned into.
Oh,
That's
right. Holy fuck.
Never explained.
He's like, so is like a deer like a family thing?
Yeah.
Or like, what's going on with that?
But look,
Your dad was a horny
obviously,
motherfucker.
I think you got. If he was, he'd have more kids, more siblings. We have and can go on all day about the things that irked us about this movie.
You're a middle child, Harry. Sorry.
But I would like to end this with what were some or one or any number of positives that we did like from the movie. I know for me, I like getting the visuals. I'm a visual person. I read the first Game of Thrones books, almost put it down, and then watched the show. And now that I could put names or faces to all the names, it made it easier, and I was able to continue on. I like seeing they did a very good job casting. Gary Oldman is a fantastic Sirius. I know he's kind of come out and said like he doesn't think he did the role justice. I think he said that, you know, I like seeing the new Dumbledore because I remember even when I was younger thinking like, I don't know how this old Dumbledore is gonna work in some of the later books. Like he's got to be kind of spry and athletic.
I kind of do like the newer Dumbledore.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Strong dislike how kind of disrespectful he was of the books. Like he bragged about not reading the books.
Yeah, that's
But-
not really cool. I
positives.
also want to say that the original Dumbledore definitely lent an air of mysticism that I
Yes.
enjoyed
Yes.
much more
kinda
around the character.
It's kind of like the whole like which version of Peter Parker do you like the best? It's like, well, Tobey Maguire's the better Peter Parker, but Andrew Garfield's the better Spider-Man. You know, I kind of feel like it with Dumbledore. Like
I can get that.
Richard Harris was perfect as far as the mystical nature of the world.
Yeah.
You know, like he felt like a wizard. I'm blanking on this. I kept wanting to say Richard Harris again, but that's for sure not his name.
Oh yeah.
But like I like the youthfulness that he brings to the character. You know, like I think he does do some of the Michael Gambon.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for looking that up.
Thank you.
I do think he does some of the more like nonchalant things that like book Dumbledore does. Like Michael Gambon's a bit more sassy, you know, like he can be a bit more dryly. Oh,
I think that's more spry.
I think I'm going to steal your thunder here, but I think it's also my favorite scene, and it's a change that the movie made, and I like it better than the book version. When Harry and Hermione get back after saving Sirius and Buckbeak, and they go, "We did it," and Michael Gambon just casually looks at him and goes, "Did what?" Then walks away. Fantastic,
so fucking good.
Fantastic.
I think that definitely caught me by surprise as a line change, and I think it was a really fucking good one.
You mentioned how badass you thought the book version was.
Yeah.
I think the movie version is even more badass.
Cannot believe
what?
that they improved on that
Yeah.
scene, but I
Yeah.
thought that was great. Because in the book, he's like, well, how'd we do? Like getting details and stuff. And this one, he's just like, I didn't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Bye, kids.
I don't know what you did. I could have swore you were in that room.
I got to admit, one of my favorite moments in this movie is also a change. Harry's flight on the hippogriff is
very
fucking
cool.
great.
Very
Standing
cool.
on its back between the wings, screaming,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know. I feel like if I'm Harry, I'm an angsty kid. I need something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
not going to metal shows. I got to go to metal shows. Harry gets to ride a hippogriff and scream at the top of his lungs over what
Yeah.
I'm hoping is Loch Ness, because that would be really cool. But like, that's got to feel so goddamn good.
Yeah.
And that was such a good scene.
Jade, final thoughts? Favorite moments?
I liked it.
Yeah. I know you said you this is probably your least favorite of all the movies just because of how different it was. You know,
Yeah.
but I know like you mentioned that you liked like what they did with Hermione. Like you did like that. Yeah, they gave Hermione some more badass moments.
Well, and serious.
And
I think.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hey, look, if we keep going, it's gonna be more negativity. We want to bring some positivity into this world. And I'm positive that that's all we're gonna say about this.
That's right. You have heard now everything we have to say about this, but we want to know what you have to say about it. Please feel free to send us an owl to podcastatt@gmail.com, or you can follow us on all of our social medias. If you really enjoyed this episode and you wanted to support our humble little channel, you can go to patreon.com/podcastatt and make a pledge of any amount. We sure would fucking appreciate it. We got a lot of stuff for you guys to enjoy there, and we have a lot more coming. So please stay tuned. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we are always coming up with more stuff for you guys.
Wow.
Sorry, I got caught there a little bit.
With that, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye. Everybody, secret. I've been drinking.